Riley, about you coming out to see my parents this weekend. Right now, my dad and everyone is out of the country, so the only person that'll be there is my mom. I hope that's all right with you.
Wait, so not even your siblings are going to be home then? I think if it's only going to be your mom, then maybe we should change plans to another day, right?
No, it'll be all right. My dad and older brother happen to love working a lot, actually. So they don't really ever have the time to see you. But with my mom, she's the one who's always home. So having her be the one to judge you is the best thing for everyone.
Is that so? But with it only being her there, I'm even more nervous for this weekend. I have to make sure that I make a good first impression, or else your mom might never like the idea of me being with you, Caleb.
You'll be totally fine, Riley. She might be a bit of a stickler at times, but as long as your impression on her this time is spot on, then you won't have to worry about yourself after. Just talk about all the good things about yourself, and listen to what she has to tell you, and you'll be just fine.
Listen to what she has to tell me? That's a bit scary. What's she going to say to me? Is she more strict than you're telling me?
You could say she's a bit scary. You could say that she's just very serious. You could also say she's just stubborn. I have talked with her before about who you are as a person, but she doesn't seem to care about what I had to say about you.
Are you kidding me?
I think she's a little bit worried about you coming from a single-parent household, with only your mom around, right? So, I'm thinking that when you see her this weekend, she's going to be bringing that up quite a lot. But don't let that startle you too much. As, like I said, she didn't seem to care about much else that I was telling her. As long as you can show that you're a good woman to her, I think she'll totally forget about you only having your mom around.
I'm only getting more worried now. I'm used to people being a bit judgmental of those who only ever had their mom around to raise them, but it doesn't mean that I like that kind of one-sided judgment. If your mom begins to go tough on me, you'll be there to soften things up for me, right?
Well, I'm going to be trying my best to support you. But I'm counting on you being able to show my mom how content you are. So, I think that'll all be fine. You want to get married to me as soon as possible, right? So, for the sake of our marriage, do your very best.
I don't want you ever coming around my family again, you poor woman. I will never give my son up to such a moneyless and desperate woman as you. Who did you think would allow you to be marrying my son of all people? I would like you to apologize to me first and foremost. That was not okay, pouring water all over me like that out of nowhere. But if I didn't do that, you would have never left me alone, right? So my only option was to pour that cold water all over you like that. Excuse me? Also, that happened to be some very fresh and natural mineral water that I threw on you, so you should be grateful for that. But I'm starting to think that I should have used toilet water or something on someone with your likes, considering it would suit your poor self better. Please do not ever say something like that to me again. And as for your reason of pouring water all over me like that, I have no words. Did I do something wrong by coming to your house to see you about marrying your son? All I did was walk through your front door and introduce myself. And then just like that, you were throwing water on me. Well, you just happened to be the poor little woman I imagined you to be, and that pissed me off. I had already heard from Caleb about how you only ever had one parent, but the way you even talked to me got my blood boiling. Really showed me just how incompetent your mother was at raising a child. I suppose not everyone is fit to be a parent, or even a wife at that. What? I heard all I needed to hear about you from Caleb already. He did say that you're employed at a rather large company and all, but you graduated from some small community college in the middle of nowhere. And I'm sure that's because you never had a father figure there to help raise you, right? Do you have a problem with me only ever having my mom around me growing up? I'm not sure if you've heard this yet, but my dad ended up passing away in a crash long ago. And ever since then, my mom has been raising me all on her own, but I'm not sure what the problem is with that. It is sad that things happened like that, which ended up leaving your mom as a single woman, but her never getting remarried has sealed your fate. Compared to the powerful family that I've raised my sons in, your little mother and daughter household is a disgrace. What about me only having my mom around to raise me is a disgrace, though? Oh, you already know what makes that a disgrace. As you can see with my family, my husband and I were able to raise kids that have all gone to very famous universities. And as of right now, everyone is a doctor. In other words, that means my family of doctors is all leagues above whatever moneyless and meaningless household your mother's raised you in, making you both disgraces. I think that's the perfect word to describe you guys with. If I may, I don't exactly remember you being a doctor yourself, Victoria. Caleb told me that all your life you've only ever been a housewife. This is not about me! It is very important for the mother to always be at home in order to raise such a respectable family. Now listen to me. What you should be very aware of after today is that my very wonderful son is never going to be allowed to marry some woman who comes from nothing besides poverty and sadness. I'm sure that someone like you is only wanting to marry him in order to get close to my family's money, right? You only want to be his wife because you know he makes so much money. You are wrong about that. The only reason that I want to be married to your son is because I love the man he is. Oh, absolutely not. You are not going to get away with such a weak lie as that. Let me just say that I've done my fair amount of research into you, and that means I know for a fact that you're the type of woman who is only after money when it comes to men. What do you mean, fair amount of research? I had to do my research since I'm the mother of a family filled with doctors. And from what I've learned, you're not even worth a second of my son's time. You may not think I know much about you, but a woman in her 50s like me is able to do anything and everything in order to preserve the purity of her kids. And that means spending days looking into all your social media accounts, finding everything I needed to know about you. What? And out of all those accounts, I found your Instagram to be the worst. It was filled with all these pictures of you standing around with all kinds of brand bags and clothing like you belonged to some rich family yourself. I knew from that moment that your only goal in life is to get as much money as possible from the men you find. That's the truth, right? I am so sorry, but I think that you've wasted your time. I don't even have an Instagram, so I'm not sure who you were looking at on there. If anything, I don't have any social media accounts at all. So who you were looking at was someone else. Stop lying to me. I know you're nothing more than a low-life, moneyless parasite. I was able to find out everything about you as the mother and wife of a doctors-only family. So there is no way on this holy earth that I've made a mistake about you. But I'm not kidding you. I don't have an Instagram account. Even now, you're not going to just confess to me that you only want Caleb for his money, huh? Well, so be it. All I want you to understand after today is that your marriage to Caleb will never happen and that you and him are nothing. The engagement is off. I will never allow you to be married to my son as long as I'm the mother of this household. You can't be serious. Can you please just listen to what I have to say? Also, could you please stop calling me some moneyless lowlife like that? Same with my mom, please. That's not something someone in as high of a position as you are should be saying about others. It's not fair to me, and you're beginning to get on my nerves now. Shut your mouth right now! I will not be talked to like that by some fatherless whore! You are never going to have that dream of being married to my wealthy son come true! Then I guess this is really it for Caleb and I. Good! And don't you ever come near my family again! It's a promise, then. I never thought that things would go this far south in such a short amount of time. But since you don't seem to want to listen to me, rather sticking to your thoughts of me only wanting money from your family, I'll grant your wish of never becoming your son's wife. As I don't want to have a mother-in-law like you either. Perfect! Now you go and tell Caleb that things are off and that you will never be seeing him again. And before you end things for good, you apologize to him for wasting his time, making him think he'd ever be allowed to marry low-life garbage like you. Hey, Caleb, you and I are no longer going to be getting married, and you and I being engaged is over with.
What?
Your mom doesn't seem to want us being married to each other at all. Her and I just finished up talking about a lot of things regarding myself, and it seems that she just does not want to listen to anything I have to say. And that's why the only option I have now is saying goodbye to you.
Wait, what do you mean you just finished talking with her? And she's not listening to anything you want to say? You shouldn't be saying anything to her at all. I told you before that all you have to do is listen to what she has to say. That's it. Jesus. Are you an idiot or something? Now you've gone and gotten our whole relationship ruined by talking back to her like that.
Don't you dare joke around with me. I am very upset with your mom right now over this, but you're the one I'm most pissed off with right now.
With me?
You watched as your mom poured water all over me as I walked into her house, and you didn't even bother to hand me a towel. All you did was stand in the corner laughing over what your mom was saying to me. Why did you not come to help me at all then?
Yo, you're asking me that? All I was doing was reading the air, for God's sake. My mom loves the hell out of me, so if I were to come to your aid at a time like that, she would have started to yell at me too.
I'm not going to listen to an excuse like that, Caleb. You watched as your fiance got soaked in freezing cold water from head to toe, right? At a time like that, you should be coming to help me and warning your mom to stop that.
No, hold on. I did want to do something like that, all right? But as you could see after what she did, my mom is a very tough person to deal with, and is better to just be left alone, right?
My mom taught me something very important about relationships. She said that if the man I plan on marrying is caring about someone more than me, then he's not worth marrying at all. And that's why I agree with calling off our marriage now. I hate both your mom and you now.
Huh? Are you being serious right now, Riley? If you call off our marriage, that means you and I are breaking up, okay?
Yeah, and that's why I'm being serious about it. I don't want to force myself to be with you any longer, especially since now I can see you and I don't have a future together anymore. So I think ending everything between us right now is the most efficient way of saving our futures from being filled with sadness and hate. This is the best for both of us, all right?
What the hell? You should be happy that I chose you to become my wife. Yet you're telling me that you aren't happy being my fiance anymore? What the hell is this? Stop it with all that BS right now. You can't talk to me like that when you're just a woman.
What did you just say to me?
I thought that you'd be the perfect fit for my wife. You don't look all too bad in terms of your figure, and you happen to work for a very good company. You even make a pretty penny there. But I thought that I could still best you because you come from a mother-only household and went to a community college. That's why I was fine with making you my wife. But now I can see you're nothing more than a back-talking, brain-dead whore.
Unbelievable. So that's how you've been thinking of me this whole time?
Well, of course it is. If it wasn't for your looks and that job of yours, no one would want to make you their wife. You were raised in a broken family, for crying out loud. But who cares now? Because things between you and I are over right now. After this, while you're crying and regretting saying such things as that to me, I want you to know that it's too late to come back to me.
And that's just fine. I'm not going to have any regrets about this.
Go ahead and try acting all strong and tough like that after today. you'll realize that you lost the one and only chance in your life to become a part of an elite family such as mine, and you'll regret it until the day you die. There are no other men in this world willing to marry a low-life woman like you, so you've lost at this game of life. Your days of dreaming about a life of luxury and happiness are over, as the one man with all that is saying goodbye to you now too.
Don't make me begin to laugh at your complete misunderstanding of the position that you're in.
Huh?
The only one here that's missed their once-in-a-lifetime chance is you, Caleb. You just let your one and only chance to marry such a fabulous woman as me slip through your fingers. So I hope you realize that later on when regret begins to build up.
Who the hell do you think you are? Fabulous woman? No fabulous woman comes from a fatherless family. Nice try there, Riley. But talking like that isn't going to ruin my mood any. I am far superior to you in every way, since I happen to be a very successful doctor. I happen to only be in my 20s, yet I'm already making $200,000 a year with my work.
You think that $200,000 a year is something to be proud of? I happen to be making multiple times that amount right now.
What? Making more than me? You are?
And that mom of mine that you guys seem to make fun of all the time is making even more than I am currently. So with all this money that the both of us are making, you're going to still make fun of my mom and I like that? Just because her and I don't happen to be doctors and I don't have a father around me.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're making that much more than me? And your mother is making even more than you? You are an office worker, and your mother has been single for years now.
That's right. I'm just some office worker. Just some office worker working for her mom's company. But even if I'm just an office worker, that doesn't mean I'm not important to her company. I am a director there, after all.
A director? And wait, your mother's company? Your mother? She's the CEO of that company?
You've known about how I've been working for this pretty large company the whole time we've been together, right? Well, that company has actually been my mom's company this whole time.
Huh? So that makes you the CEO's daughter? And you'll probably become the next CEO of that company?
Well, that's what it looks like. But I'm not all that amazing when it comes to doing the work my mom can do, so I'm not really sure I will take over the company next. I think I'd rather let someone more experienced than me take the helm next, so you don't have to call me the upcoming CEO or anything like that. And I'm not sure my mom plans on giving me the company after her either.
What?
My mom happens to be a very serious woman when it comes down to her company, which means she's not going to let me have the easy road by just giving me the title of CEO next. Heck, to get where I am now, I had to study for years about the kind of work I'd have to do as a director and have all the qualifications as well. I even had to take a few tests within the company to get here, so I like to say that the position I'm at now was not handed to me, and neither would the position of CEO. Everyone within this company knows that this position wasn't just handed to me, and that's why I'm respected by everyone here.
But wait a second. You never said anything about any of that to me before. You never said that you're a director at your mother's company. And you never said anything about how your mom is the one running that large company either, did you?
And I guess I'll apologize to you for that. But my mom told me to never bring any of that up with men like you. She said all that information was to be kept to myself until after marriage. She said I'd only attract beggars by talking about my mom's situation and all that, so it was best for me to just stay quiet.
What?
My mom's been through a lot herself and wants to make sure that I'm okay when it comes to finding myself the right man. Actually, back in middle school, someone had learned about my mom being a CEO of a very large company, and after that, the news of it spread all over. I had to spend years with people always asking me for money and asking to come over to my house to play. So after I had finally graduated high school and escaped all of that, my mom made sure that I never said a word about her position again.
No way.
That's why I never really talk about my family or my work to anyone anymore, even if they are the people I love and care for. I really did love you a lot, and being your girlfriend and fiance was some of the best memories I'll ever have. That's why I was totally fine making you my husband, and then after that, I'd tell you all the details about my mom and myself. But only months before we could get married, you showed me who you really are and let me see just the kind of monster your mother is as well. I guess I need to get better at figuring out which men are really men, if you know what I mean.
What is with you saying that about me? You're making it seem like I'm not a good man at all.
Well, you're not. You seem to think it's okay to pick on me for having only really been raised by my mom. And on top of that, when your own mother began to attack and tear into me, you just sat there laughing because you didn't want your mommy getting upset with you next. You are absolute trash when it comes to what men should be.
What?
Well, that's it from me. I hope that you can find yourself a proper woman for you next, who will be far more willing to take crap from your mother and not say a single thing in return. Is it really true that you're the daughter of a CEO? That your mother is the CEO of a company like that, and you're one of the directors there? I'm sure you already know the answer to that and don't need to be asking me anything. I mean, you're the mother and wife of a family of doctors, so you're able to find out just about anything and know that it's the truth. After looking at all my non-existent social media accounts, were you not able to learn that about me? That was... Pardon me, I didn't exactly mean to pick on you like that. I would never talk or post about that sort of stuff on social media had I made any accounts for you to snoop through. I don't have time to be doing any of that petty crap, nor do I want to. But I did find your accounts online. The accounts had your name on them, and the woman on Instagram looked just like you. Well, there were no pictures of your face on there, but I could tell immediately that the person in those posts was you. So you're not even going to accept that you were wrong this whole time? Well then, let me just tell you to make sure you look very closely at the names on those accounts. I'm sure that there have been accounts with my name on them, but if you take a good look, my last name is a bit different than theirs are. What? You might be thinking that Marshall is the same as Marshall. Ah! And when you take a look at the info on those accounts, they do not match the info that I would have, like the schools I've gone to and things like that. I went to a small college called Delta College back near my hometown. What the one account that I've found says is that they went to Harvard. Not only is the name wrong, but so is the school. Yet you still had full confidence thinking they were me. What is this? You think you can just mess with me like that? I'm sure you just put your name in incorrectly on Instagram to hide yourself. And you changed what school you went to Harvard to make yourself look better. I know all sorts of people do things like that online to make themselves look good. And I think that someone like you would do that all so that you could get closer to my son for his money. I see. I didn't know that was such a popular thing people did, since I don't use social media myself. You happen to know a lot about how people will change their names a little bit to hide who they really are and lie about the school they graduated from very well, don't you, Victoria? Perhaps that's because you used the same tactic to get with your husband? Excuse me? I actually went and took a look into you as well, Victoria. I happen to not be so good with that sort of stuff though, so I hired someone who knows all about computers and social media to do the sifting through for me. You hired someone? A pro, to be precise. And from what they found, you happen to hold numerous accounts all over the internet. You have one where you fake being a woman in her early 20s that just graduated out of college. And another one where you act like you're working for a supermarket and can make all kinds of different meals using their produce. I also like the account you made where you act like you went and graduated from Harvard yourself, even though really you only came from a small trade school. To me, you seem to really love lying about yourself, all with the intent of getting people to like you. Well, why? Why do you know about all my accounts? And how did you figure out that I graduated from a trade school? I just had to ask a pro to help me out is all. Have you gone and told my son all of this yet? Does Caleb know about all of this? What merit is there to telling your son about all of this? All right, I am never going to make fun of yourself or your mother ever again. And if you're still wanting to get married to my son, you can go right ahead with it. So please, just keep yourself from telling any of the truth to my family, okay? I've already gone and broken up with Caleb, and I don't want to see his face anymore. So I'd really just like for you to use what's happened here today as a very good reason to never talk poorly about those who come from single-parent households ever again. One other thing. Can you send me the picture that was taken of me when you poured all that water on me? I would like to have it, please. Sure, I'll send it to you right now. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting for it to come.
Hey, I think it's close to the point where we've both calmed down quite a bit. Do you think we can both go out to eat together now? I'd like to talk with you again about getting married, Riley.
Why do you think it's important for either of us to be talking to one another anymore? You and I have broken up completely now and have nothing to do with one another anymore, right?
Don't say something as cold-hearted as that, all right? I won't let my mother ever say anything so rude to you again, and I'll always be there to help. So let's make up. I have learned a lot in the past couple of weeks, and I think you and I would make a very good married couple.
This is so strange. Were you always that brain dead, Caleb?
What?
Thinking that after all your mom said to me that there'd even be a small chance of us getting back together? You must have been lobotomized to think so carelessly about things now. Are you still able to do your job as a doctor when your frontal lobe is no longer intact?
Excuse me? You! I'm giving you the chance right now to get your life back on track with me.
You're not giving me any chances right now. Rather, you're just trying to play games with me. Who would ever want to get back together with a child like you? Would you like me to come over and pour freezing cold water all over your head?
What?
I'm going to block your number and then delete your information, so never try talking to me again, okay? Goodbye now.
Wait. You can at least come out to eat, right? Just come out and talk a little.
If I have the time to be doing something like that, I'll use it finding myself a real man. Have a good one, Caleb. After that, I started to get letters in the mail from Caleb and his family, giving their apologies for everything that happened. Even with his dad and siblings being overseas and having to do so much work as doctors, they all seemed very worried by what Caleb and his mother had done to me. But it wasn't as though his dad and siblings were asking me to get married to him, but rather they really wanted me to know how badly they felt for what he'd done to me. Saying that out of the whole family, he was the biggest failure because he'd never learned any other languages like they had, and wasn't even able to get all the proper certifications to be a real doctor. His dad also wrote to me saying that once he'd gotten home from his time overseas, he'd make sure to properly handle Caleb and set him straight. When it comes to Victoria, her husband found out about her accounts and how she misassumed me as being someone else. Therefore, he had her throw away her smartphone and gave her an old flip phone, which she'd have to use from now on so that she couldn't access any form of social media. But that wasn't all, as he made sure she couldn't use any more of his credit cards and would be handed $150 a month to use for herself instead. As of right now, both Caleb and Victoria have been living quietly, rarely ever doing anything besides sit at home and go out to do some tasks. And I'd like to assume that's all because of what Victoria's husband, Caleb's dad, had said to the both of them when he got back home.
Oh, Tiffany, are you there? I just wanted to say thanks again for all that you're doing. I really appreciate you letting me stay with you. Thanks.
Sorry, you're coming to stay with me? What are you talking about? I don't remember talking about this ever.
Well, you know how I'm trying to study so that I can go to law school, right? Well, I just can't study at all living with my parents, so I realized that I need a new place to go where I'll be able to concentrate. So I asked my mom about where she thought I should go, and she told me about how Chris was going away on a business trip. So I figured that since you would have the space for me without my brother there, that I could move in.
Okay, hold on just a second there, Carly. Yes, it is true that Chris is away on a long business trip, but I don't get why you have to move all the way over here just to study. I mean, you're not even in law school yet, right?
Well, yeah, but the law schools I want to go to are around where you live in New York. So I figure I might as well start getting used to living up there. And then once I finish taking the LSATs, I can just move all my things right into the school. Isn't that great?
Look, Carly, I really want to help you in whatever way I can, but I just don't think this is the way to go about doing this. Besides, I would have to talk to Chris about this first.
So you're going to tell me that you want to help me any way that you can, but then refuse to help me? And I don't get why you would have to go and ask my brother. Of course he would approve of this. You shouldn't even bother asking him. I already know the answer he'd give anyways. That's why I'm on my way to your place right now.
Hold on a second. You're already on your way here, but I haven't even said yes. This is the first that we're talking about this.
I know, but the date for the LSATs are coming up, and I've already registered to take them in New York. So once I move in, I am going to be really busy studying.
But Carly, I'm sorry. This is just all so sudden, and I don't think I can approve of this.
What are you talking about? Why are you being such a stick in the mud about this? I mean, you're just a housewife who isn't really doing anything anyways, right? So since your husband is away, I can take his place and you can take care of me, right?
You really expect me to be taking care of you while you're away? You can't be serious.
Thank you so much. So just a heads up, every morning for breakfast, I would like to have a smoothie with fresh fruit. Then I want you to keep lunch light for me since I like to have naps in the afternoon. But make sure that you make something with things that are good for your brain for dinner since that's when I'm going to be doing most of my studying. And I also want you to keep your place well stocked with lots of snacks.
Are you seriously telling me that you want me to cook 3 meals a day for you? And on top of all that, you really want me to bring snacks to you as well?
Why are you acting as if that's a big deal? You're a housewife. All you do is cook anyways, right? Besides, I'm going to be a lawyer one day, so I think that it would be best to help me when I need it or stay on my good side, you know?
Hold on a second. Let me guess. Next, you're going to tell me that in addition to cooking for you, I'm also going to have to do the laundry and all the cleaning too, right?
Well, duh. I'm going to be busy studying all day, so you need to be taking care of all that kind of work. I'll basically just leave it all to you while I hit the books.
I don't even know what to say to that. Do you really think that you can just live here and have me do everything to take care of you? What are you going to contribute in terms of rent? Are you at least going to help with the bills while you're here?
Whoa, what? What kind of way is that to talk to family? Here I am humbly asking for a little help from you, and you're telling me that you won't unless I cough up some money? Do you not want me to go to school? Do you not want me to follow my dreams of being a lawyer? Because law school isn't cheap, and I have to save money everywhere that I can.
Are you kidding me? Is that really the best that you can come up with?
Anyways, like I said, I'm already on the way over to your place right now. And just remember that whether or not I succeed at this is riding entirely on you. So make sure you do a good job of being there for me.
Hey Tiff, you there? I'm so sorry for not getting back to you yesterday. I was just so crazy busy and I'm only checking my phone right now. So did Carly really end up coming to our place?
She did. She arrived late last night and I couldn't believe it. Now she's treating our place just like she owns it or something. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I can't believe that she's actually doing this.
So I take that means you also had no idea that she was going to pull something like this?
I had no idea that this was going to happen at all until I saw your messages that you'd sent me. And then there was just one message from Carly telling me that she was going to be using my office.
So she did tell you something?
Kind of. I tried to respond and ask her what she meant, but she just left me on red and never responded to me. I had no idea what she was talking about, and I certainly didn't think she was going to go this far.
I know, right? It's like, what is she thinking doing this?
Well, I talked to my parents and they filled me in a little more about what was going on. I guess that Carly wasn't making any progress on moving out or finding any work, besides the part-time job that she already had. Then all of a sudden she started talking about wanting to become a lawyer. My parents think it's because she's been really into this lawyer show, and that's the only reason she's acting this way.
Well, I think it's fine to have ambition and want to pursue a challenging goal. But didn't your sister drop out of community college? Because, no offense to her, but I think the LSAT is supposed to be quite challenging, and I think you're supposed to have at least a bachelor's before starting a law program anyways.
So then you really think that she came to our house to try and study for the test? Because I really wonder if she's actually studying for it at all. Yeah, not only that, but I hear that for some of the schools she's talked about wanting to go to, that she'll have to get a really high score.
And you're telling me that you don't think she's going to be able to make the cut for that?
From what I was reading, these schools only take the cream of the crop, but I guess that Carly must be really confident in herself. I guess there's still about 6 months before the tests are held, but does that mean that she's really going to just keep living with us until then?
Hold on a second, the LSATs aren't for another 6 months? I was prepared to put up with Carly for maybe about a month or so, but she can't stay with us for 6 months. Especially if she's expecting me to act like her maid. Did you know she wants me to cook all her meals and do her laundry for her?
Oh, she really gets too carried away sometimes. I just have no idea what she's thinking. But I think you should try and throw her out. I would help if I could, but I certainly don't want her touching any of my stuff.
Well, unfortunately, I think that is much easier said than done.
But she can't just squat at our house if we don't want her there. Doesn't she realise that?
Actually, you know what? I think it's great that Carly is chasing her dreams like this. Maybe we should give her some credit and support her through this. And I think it'd be fine if she uses your office as her bedroom. At least that way we can keep our room clean. You do want to support your sister, don't you?
Well, of course I want to, but are you really sure about this? I didn't even think that you were much of a fan of Carly to begin with.
Well, it's only for 6 months, right? And as long as Carly actually studies during that time, then you and I might end up with a lawyer we can count on.
I guess that's true, yeah. And if she managed to get a job, I know it'd make my parents really happy.
Great, then it's settled. And this works for me since I was starting to get lonely without anyone to talk to since you left.
Wow, well, okay. That's great. I can talk to my parents about this and maybe convince them to pitch in and help you out some. How does about $500 a month sound?
Oh, I think that would be plenty for me. Thank you very much. Now, let's get your sister through law school. Carly, can you please let me back in the house? I still don't even understand why you had to throw me out in the first place.
Because I have my test in 3 days, don't you get it? How am I supposed to concentrate knowing that you're in the house with a fever? I had no choice but to throw you out.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
I mean that if I got your cold, then I might have to miss my test. Then I would have wasted all the effort that I've been putting into studying for the past month. That's why, until I'm done with the test, you are not allowed back in, so don't come back until you're better.
So then you're really just going to kick me out of the house while I have this high fever? Do you have any idea how cold it is out here? The least you could do is let me pack a bag.
You really are a useless woman, do you know that? How dare you not realize that you're only getting in the way of your amazing sister-in-law trying to achieve her dreams? Don't even talk to me. I can't believe that you would get a cold like this just so that you could try and sabotage me. It's like you really want me to fail at everything.
Carly, you don't really believe that, do you? Of course I don't want you to fail, but I just got a bit of a cold is all.
You really think I'm going to buy an excuse like that?
It's not an excuse. I was feeling sick yesterday, and you had no problem talking with me and telling me to go to the store for you. In fact, because it was raining all day yesterday when I went out, I think that's why I'm feeling so sick.
Well, it's because I needed you to go out and buy the ingredients for my good luck meal. Ever since I was in high school, I would always eat a lot of foods that start with A so that I would get that grade.
But you shoved me out of the house so quickly yesterday that I couldn't even grab an umbrella. By the time I got back, I was completely soaked. But I've been doing my best to stay out of your way and make sure that you have everything you need to study. So I don't get why I'm being kicked out of the house this time.
For the last time, you are being kicked out so that this house doesn't become a petri dish and so I don't get sick.
Is this really the way that you're thanking me after all that I've done for you? After all the cooking and cleaning and support that I've given you? I can't believe that this is the way that you're paying back the person who let you live in their home free for 6 whole months. Do you have any idea just how much of my own money I've sunk into you, Carly? But I thought it would be okay as long as I was helping you study. Oh, just shut up already, would you? Quit sending me all these sobby, sad texts. If you really wanted to help me pass my test, then you would never have gotten sick in the first place. If you still want to help me, then you can just sit there and shut up. So you really expect me to just sit outside my own house for 3 days with a fever like this? Is this any way for someone who wants to be a lawyer to treat people? Is this the way lawyers treat the people who helped them get to where they are? Oh, don't worry. You'll be getting plenty of gratitude as soon as I'm actually a lawyer. Because once I am, I'll be making millions of dollars. Maybe I'll even kick some back your way for all that you've been doing for me. But if you want that to happen, then you better leave me alone so that I can pass. I don't care about the money, Carly. That was never what this was about. I just thought that you would have a little more gratitude after all this time. Look, you are keeping me from studying. What was the point of kicking you out if you still won't leave me alone? Just go away and don't come back until you're feeling better, got it?
You better watch how you talk to my wife, Carly.
Wait, what? Are you delirious or something? Has your fever gotten that bad?
I want to know just what you think you're doing right now, huh, sis? Because you got some real nerve kicking my wife out of our house after all she's been doing for you. You do realise that the person who's been taking care of you for the past 6 months is sick, right? Or do you just not care?
Wait, sis, your wife, is this Chris? But I thought that you were away on your business trip, right?
I was away, yeah, and now I've come back. I actually requested to come back early so that I could try and make it for you when you took the LSAT. I wanted to let you know that you had more support than you knew.
Wait a second. You mean that you came home early just to cheer me on for my test?
That was the plan, but now that I come to this, I don't know what to think. What I do know is that you have a family member who is sick and you've literally thrown them out of the house. What kind of person does that, huh?
But you don't understand. I'm going to be taking my test in 3 days. I wasn't about to let myself catch a cold from Tiffany. I'm just trying to keep her away until I've safely taken it is all.
If that's what you're worried about, why not just ask Tiffany to stay in her room and rest? This is our house after all. You were the one that showed up here uninvited. In fact, it was Tiffany who finally came around on letting you stay as long as you have.
Well, that's nice of her, but still, it doesn't change the facts.
The facts are that you've been taking advantage of my wife's kindness for your own gain, and now you've gone too far. Who do you think you are, kicking your own host out of their home?
But I didn't have any money to stay anywhere else. What was I supposed to do?
I don't care what you do or where you go. You can go study under a bridge for all I care. Your test is only in 3 days. Surely you're not going to forget all that you studied if I kick you out now, right?
Kick me out? You wouldn't really do that, right? Not after I've come so close to finally taking the test. The whole reason I came here in the first place.
I don't care about your test at all right now, Carly.
Please, you're scaring me. Why are you acting like this?
Why are you acting like this, Carly? Don't you get how wrong this is? You've let this get way out of hand, and I hope you do fail for all the horrible things you've done up to now. But especially for taking advantage of my wife like this. How dare you use her kindness just to throw her out like this?
Please, I never would have done that if I knew you were going to get so upset. I guess I just lost sight of what was really important. I just didn't want to catch a cold so close to my test is all. You can understand that, right? You can't blame me for that. Hey, Carly, how'd the test end up going for you? I just wanted to let you know that my fever went down and I'm feeling better. The test was horrible. It was the worst that I've ever done, and when I fail, it'll be all your fault. But how can you know that when the test just ended right now? I don't need to wait for the results. I already know that I failed. You've made me waste a whole year of my life. Do you know that? A whole year! And why don't you think you need to wait for the results? What makes you think you didn't pass? Because I couldn't even get in to take the test. I forgot my entrance slip and I didn't have a spare downloaded on my phone. They didn't even let me take the test. You forgot your entrance pass? Well, how did you do that? You know how it happened. When Chris came home, he burst into the house and started yelling at me to pack up my bags and leave. I was so scared and in such a rush that I must have left that pass behind in Chris's office somewhere. That's why this is all your fault. This would have never happened if you hadn't caught that stupid cold. Well, it sounds to me like you're just looking for everyone but yourself to blame for this, but at least you'll always be able to take it again next year. You mean that you'll let me come back to your place to study again next year? No. That is not what I said. I never want you setting foot in my house again, and neither does Chris for that matter. But then how am I supposed to study for the test? Where am I supposed to live? Who's going to cook for me? I think those are all issues that you'll have to figure out yourself. I gave you much more help than you deserved, and you spit it all back in my face. Well, I am certainly not going to make that mistake again. Please, I'm sorry. I won't ever act that way again. I'm so sorry, Tiffany. After that, Carly was unsure of who to turn to and fled back to her parents' house. But since she left, her parents had changed the locks on the door and refused to let her in. Realizing she had no one but herself who she could rely on, Carly found a job and a small, cheap apartment where she could still study to pursue her dream of being the next big pop star. Even though she's already in her late 20s, Carly was inspired by her experience studying for the LSAT. She was sure that she could do anything if she set her mind to it. She even started a few social media pages to try and promote herself, and, well, they're going about as well as you would expect them to. But who knows? Maybe one day she'll prove everyone wrong and be the next big thing.
Hey there, Mom. I just wanted to let you know that I sent the $1,000 to your bank account.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that. It's always a big help when you send money.
Yeah, of course, no problem. But I had a question about Nancy. Is she getting any better? Do you know how much longer I'm going to have to send money like this?
You want to know how Nancy is doing? Where is this coming from all of a sudden?
Well, I just mean that Nancy went back home to recover, right? After she quit her job because she was getting too sick to work about 2 years ago. I remember her telling me that she was hardly mobile anymore and was going to move in with you and Dad. Anyways, I want to keep helping support her, but I just don't know if I can keep sending money at this rate.
Oh, that's right. That's why you've been sending money all this time. I had almost forgotten, to be perfectly honest.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
Well, I suppose it was only a matter of time before I had to be truthful with you about this. The fact of the matter is that your sister Nancy was never sick at all. She's been living at home, but she's perfectly healthy. Not only that, but this year she met someone special, and the two of them are going to be getting married.
They're going to be getting married?
That's right, and to a really, really great guy, actually. He works for a big company and makes a ton of money, so I don't think we'll even need you to send us any more from now on. After all, your sister's husband is going to be making enough money to take care of all of us.
But just hold on a second. What do you mean Nancy is getting married? I thought she was sick and dying over there with you.
Oh no, of course not. Nothing like that at all. She's just been living her life over here the past 2 years, and in that time she met her rich, successful fiance, and now they're engaged. I honestly couldn't be happier or more proud as a mother right now.
You mean that I believed that my sister was horribly sick for the past 2 years when she never even was? But this doesn't make any sense. I mean, you were the one that told me 2 years ago that Nancy wasn't doing well. You said she was shaky and could hardly move, and that's when you asked me to start sending you $1,000 a month to help take care of her. I was just doing that just for my sister.
Well, I really am sorry about the mix-up, Valerie. The fact of the matter is that we were just tricking you and using that money to help your sister find someone to marry.
You used all that money I sent to let Nancy go on dates with people?
Of course, you have no idea how much money has to go into making sure Nancy always looks good and has a new outfit for her dates. Honestly, if it weren't for the support that you were providing, I don't think any of this would have been possible. There's no way I could have afforded to do what we did with my pension.
But, I mean, I still don't get it. You told me that you wanted the money because things were getting really hard for you. You said that Nancy was wasting away in bed and that's why you needed my help. The whole time I've been living on a shoestring budget while telling myself that I'm doing it all for my sister.
Well, you were doing it all for your sister, and now thanks to you, she is finally going to get married. Aren't you happy that you helped her find that special someone?
That isn't the problem here, and you know it, Mom. I mean that you lied to me to get my money.
Well, who cares what the reason was? It isn't like you didn't end up giving up the money anyways. If you weren't able to pay us when you wouldn't have, I just saw that you had the spare cash and thought of a good way to put it to use.
But that isn't your choice to make. It was my money, and I thought I was giving it to a cause that wasn't even real.
You really need to get over yourself. You were only sending me $1,000 a month, you know. Are you really going to get so upset over such a measly sum?
I've been sending you that much money every single month for the past 2 years. And you kept up your lie all this time, too. You know that I was struggling with this, and you still had me believing it was true.
What do you want, Valerie? A trophy? The money you sent us is only going to be a drop in the bucket compared to what Nancy's fiance is going to be helping us with.
Well, fine then. I guess I don't have to be sending any more money then, do I?
That's right. We're through with you. You can just go and get lost. Consider this my way of saying that you're out of the family. I don't need a daughter who can barely afford to send her mom $1,000 every month.
Well, fine then. I hope that you all get along great living off Nancy's husband's money. But I don't ever want to hear back from you or Nancy ever again.
Hey sis, thank you so much for sending the money again this month. I just want you to know that it's all thanks to you that I'm going to be able to get married now. And to such an amazing guy too. I really am thankful for all that you've done.
Well, there's a lot I'd like to say right now, but I guess I still do owe you a congratulations on your engagement. I'll be sure to send a gift for the two of you soon.
Oh, thank you so much. That really is so sweet of you.
But Nancy, I was just wondering, how are you doing? Like, physically, I mean. I remember that you were having some serious issues a while ago and that it got so bad you had to quit your work.
Wait, what? I thought that Mom already told you the truth, didn't she? Or are you still just that worried about me? You really are too nice sometimes, do you know that? How could I have gone on as many dates as I did if I was that sick?
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
I mean, yes, it is true I was having trouble at work and that's why I quit. But if I'm being honest, I was the source of all the trouble. Basically, I was sleeping with my old bosses and someone high up found out and so I was fired. That's all that happened.
Are you kidding me? That's why you had to leave your last job?
Yeah, so I didn't leave because I was having health issues or anything like that. It was basically just because apparently it's against company policy to use company property to conduct your affairs on.
I don't even know what to say to all of this. It's all been a lie. I don't know whether I should laugh or cry right now. This whole time I'd been so worried about you. And now I just feel like an idiot for ever even wanting to help you.
Oh, come on. You really shouldn't be so hard on yourself, you know? I mean, sure, you were stupid for not ever checking that I really was sick, but you still helped Mom and I out a lot.
This isn't a joke. I'm seriously upset with you right now. Do you have any idea just how hard my life has gotten because of the money I was sending your way? How many shocks and scares and worries I've had that still didn't stop me from sending that money to you every month? And all because I thought I was doing what was best for my family.
I think that you've done a really great job. I mean, it sounds like you've been working so hard, you might end up the sick one. But at least you can take pride in the fact that you've helped me find a fiance, right?
No, I'm through with you and I'm through with Mom. I never want to talk to either of you again. I won't even ask that you pay back all the money that I've given you up till now. Just please never talk to me again, okay? I'm going to go home and pack up my things, and that will be the last we ever see of each other.
Wait, you mean you're going to be coming here?
I'll be heading your hair soon. I just need to collect some of my belongings at Mom's house. I have some important documents and cards that are in a safe there that I need to pick up as well.
Oh, well, I really don't think there's much point in trying to get those now. I mean, by cards, you mean the card for your savings account, right? Well, there's nothing left in there now anyways.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that we were hiding lots of things from you, like the fact that I used your money to pay off the lawsuit that my boss's wife was trying to serve me with. there was no way that I was going to afford paying something like that, so I just took a little from you is all.
I don't believe this. So on top of all the money I was giving you, you stole even more from me?
Well, it's not my fault that you left so many banking materials and stuff here at Mom's house.
I only left them there because I thought I was the only one using the account and I had hardly ever touched it. But you're telling me that you emptied out my savings account?
Yeah, but there was only like $30,000 in there, so it's all good.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to save up all that money?
Well, you should have seen Mom when I suggested the idea. She told me what your PIN number was for the card right away.
I can't believe that the two of you have been lying to me about so much for so long.
Well, it's not that we're not thankful for the money that you've been sending us. I mean, it's thanks to you that I'm finally going to be getting married.
Oh, I seriously can't stand you right now, Nancy. And you've been like this ever since we were little, too. You always used Mom against me and always had to have whatever I happened to be playing with or eating.
We sure did have some good times when we were younger, huh? But that's just what sisters do. Don't be so mad.
How dare you try and tell me how to feel about this?
Look, I thought you said that you didn't want to talk to Mom or I ever again, right? Well, then just go away so I can enjoy being married to my rich and successful husband. We're gonna start a happy family and have lots of kids. But it sounds like you have a lot of work to recoup all the money you've lost. Meanwhile, my husband works for Tower Corp and will never need to worry about money.
Your husband works for Tower Corp?
That's right. I guess I really haven't told you anything about my fiance, have I? Well, all you need to know is that Ben is smart and rich and just amazing. Not only that, but he's still in his 20s and already a manager at Tower Corp. He already makes over $100,000 a year. And now that we're engaged to be married, that means that all that money is going to be all mine.
So you're telling me that right now you're engaged to marry a manager from Tower Corp?
That's what I said. I know that you must be burning up with jealousy, huh? Especially after finding out the rest of the lies Mom and I were telling you.
But this isn't adding up still.
Well, that's tough, but I've got to go. I'm meeting my fiance for lunch and I'm not going to let you make me late.
Hey, Mom, is Nancy's fiance really a manager at Tower Corp?
Well, look who it is. I thought you didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Do you really want to do this right now?
Oh, I do. I thought I had finally gotten rid of you. Now what do you want?
Look, Mom, I just want to ask a couple questions about Nancy's fiance.
And just what is there to know? They've been together nearly 2 years. He's a rich and smart man, and it's clear that you're probably jealous of the two of them.
I'm really not jealous of Nancy at all, actually, but I just think that something is strange here, and that's why I'm checking.
What's strange, huh? You're just upset that your sister is such an amazing husband who is already so ahead in his career for his young age. Did you know that he even agreed to live in my house with Nancy once they're married?
Did he really say that?
Well, of course. He knows what it means to be a good son-in-law. And it helps that he makes so much money, too. I'm never going to have to worry about money again.
I don't know why I even bother with you sometimes, but whatever. Have fun living with Nancy's unemployed fiance.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
No, it's clear you don't want to talk to me. I'm leaving.
No, hold on just a moment. What do you mean Nancy's fiance is unemployed?
Well, Nancy says this guy is a manager at Tower Corp, right? But I've never seen that guy around the office once. So you might want to double check that you really know who that man even is.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
I mean that I do remember a Ben in my office who sounds very similar to the man Nancy's describing, so I'm just wanting to look into them. He used to work under me.
What do you mean he was working for you? Where even are you working right now?
Oh, right, I suppose that I never told you, did I? I'm working for Tower Corp as well.
Wait, what? Since when are you working for a place like that?
Well, yes, and I'm very busy every day with work and meetings and projects. But I do know that I've never seen this Ben guy at any of those manager meetings, and I go to every single one of those.
But wait, so you're at these manager meetings?
Well, of course, I work as a manager for Tower Corp after all.
Wait, what? You're telling me that you work as a manager for Tower Corp?
This is literally what I just typed, yes. I started working there about 2 years ago. And apparently I did a good enough job to be promoted to manager.
But you never told me that. And you've had that job for 2 years? Why would you hide that from me?
Well, I just thought that you and Nancy were already going through so much at home. So part of the reason I applied for the job was because of the higher pay. But I didn't want you worrying about me as well. But even so, it was still so hard to keep up with all those payments to you and Nancy. I had to start budgeting really everything in my life. And right when I thought things were finally starting to settle down, I find out that you've been lying to me this whole time.
So then, does this mean that you're also making over $100,000 a year? I mean, if you're working as a manager there, then you must be.
Oh, I make plenty of money, but you're never going to see another cent of it. Anyways, have a nice life, Mom.
Valerie, are you there? It's so horrible. You were right. Ben doesn't have a job. He told me that he quit his job at Tower Corp not that long ago.
I knew it was the same person I was thinking about.
This whole time he was lying about his position in the company and how much money he makes while trying to get married. How could someone do that?
Yeah, how could someone lie through their teeth to exploit someone else like that?
I don't know what to do. The truth is, I still want to marry Ben, and we had our civil ceremony just yesterday.
So you mean that you and Ben are legally married now?
That's right. I know Mom wanted me to wait for the wedding, but I just couldn't. I love Ben, and I wanted to marry him.
But you didn't find out that he was jobless until the next morning. Well, it sounds like you two have a lot to talk about now, don't you?
But you think that he'll be able to find another job soon, right? I mean, if he was working as a manager there, then everyone should want to hire him. Not only that, but he did go to good schools and all that. I'm sure he'll find a job just as good as the one he used to have.
Nancy, you do realize that Ben was never working as a manager at Tower Corp, right? Besides, I finally remembered who Ben was. He was a terrible employee who always tried to get the other to do work for him.
You're kidding me. And you're really sure it's the same Ben?
I'm 99% positive. He would always complain that the work was beneath him and have to pass it off to someone else. And when he would do his work and would point out little mistakes, he would call the rest of the staff stupid and say we didn't understand.
You can't be serious. Did he really act that way?
That's right, so I really don't see how someone like him could even make manager. But I remember the one day he stood up and said he was better than Tower Corp and stormed out of the office.
So, you mean he just left his job at a place like that? Out of pride?
Certainly seems that way to me, yes. And since that's how he left his job, I can't see him asking for a letter of recommendation. But I suppose that even after hearing all of this, you still want to get married to this no-good liar, right?
But you can't be right. I know my husband and he isn't like that.
And just how would you know that? You've spent this whole time looking for a rich husband. Are you sure you did the proper research to make sure you found an honest and trustworthy one too?
Oh no, this is really, really bad. What am I supposed to do? Please, I need your help. Do you think I should leave him? I feel like we have no choice but to get a divorce. I mean, how am I supposed to be married to an employed liar?
I don't really see how any of that is my business. After all, I thought we weren't talking to each other anymore, right?
Wait, no. You're not just going to leave me like this, right? Please, don't you see that I really need you right now?
Of course I'm going to leave you like this. Why in the world would I ever want to help you? I thought I was helping you for years, but it turns out that you and Mom were just lying to me. I dedicated the last 2 years of my life to making sure that you and Mom had enough to get by, and really all I was funding was your scam of marriage. If you want money, you can ask your friends, but don't even contact me again or ask for anything. I mean it. After that, I started getting texts from my mom asking me to help my sister. I just told her that if she wanted help now, she would have to pay back all the money I'd given them in the past. Mom stopped texting me after that. I later heard through the grapevine that Nancy and Ben didn't end up getting a divorce after all. Instead, the three of them were living at Mom's place. They have all, however, had to go out and find jobs to support each other. I heard that Ben tried to apply to high-paying jobs with huge companies, but that no one was taking him without a letter of recommendation. Now all three of them are working part-time jobs just to make ends meet. As for me, I ended up blocking both Nancy and my mom's numbers when, after some trouble finding jobs, they began to text me asking for money again. I had told myself that I'd keep the lines of communication open in case either of them had a change of heart. When I realized they would only ever see me as an ATM, I knew what I had to do. Of course, it makes me sad to think about how things ended with my family, but I also knew that at the end of the day, I had to put myself first. It's not easy being lied to. But showing myself the respect I deserve is the first step to recovery.